sense. Yeah, Animesh. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, so I'm back on my screen. So how does two tables, right, in Salesforce are connected? Account and contact. So any ID field which uniquely determines a row or record is called a primary key. Yeah, so PK, primary key, unique identifier of any row of a table, right? This same key, like you have a passport number, right? That is your primary key in India. But when you travel with that passport in USA, you are still uniquely identified, but you are not the primary citizen of USA, right? You become a foreigner, isn't it? But USA can uniquely identify you based on your passport, though it is not belonging to that. So any primary key used in some other table becomes a foreign key. So what happens? I will have an account ID here. In this account ID, I will write R1, R1, and then R2. Why R1, R1 two times? So I am copying this record and I'm pasting it here. Now I can uniquely identify that this record one, this contact is basically belonging to this account ID. And the same account ID I am repeating once again. This table also has a unique key that also has ID. The C1, C2, C3. But is R1, R1, R2. This is how I can determine. Instead of writing the whole account details in this column, I am just only pointing this to this row. Again, in this contact, I'm pointing to the same account row. That's why I am determining this row belongs to this row belongs to this. So one-to-many relationship. Is it clear now, guys?
I have a question, like why are we writing R1 in like both rows?
Because this contact belongs to account one, and this contact also belongs to account one. Reebok.
Like there will be like more information in the second R1 that we are writing against that, corresponding to that. Like
No.
I'm not getting like why are we writing R1 two times in the contact table?
Because contact one and contact two both belong to the same account.
Okay. Yeah, that is the account ID. Yeah. Got it.
Let's see the contact table once again.
Yeah. Got it.
This is the ID. The contact one, contact two, contact three. This is the
Right.
account ID.
Right.
A1, A1, A1. Three contacts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Animesh Banerjee, Shobhanjit Ghosh, Rudrani, first name, last name, phone number. Instead of writing again the whole account details, I'm just pointing to that account. Which account does this contact belong to, right? Very easy, isn't it?
Yeah,
so one field called account ID is basically creating my one-to-many relationship, because one account now is pointing to three contacts. What is this field called? In Salesforce, there is a field type which stores IDs of other tables, and that type of field is called lookups. There is another version which is called master detail. We will discuss this later. What is the difference between lookup and master detail? But for now, both stores IDs of different tables. That means in contact, we have an account ID field. Similarly, in opportunity, we will also have account ID field, because it is also one-to-many relationship, right? Very easy.
Yeah.
The opportunity object. Opportunity also has ID. O1, O2, O3. Account ID. It will be account one. This will be account two, right? Revenue, close date, everything else. Yeah. Similarly, so this is one-to-many relationship. One account has two opportunities.
Hmm.
The same field is called a lookup field, lookup of account. So lookup of account is there both on contact and on opportunity. But what happens with the mapping objects? We saw the mapping objects, right? Opportunity and product. What is the mapping object of opportunity product?
The mapping table,
What is the name of that table?
opportunity product.
Yes, opportunity product. Named after adding the, and this is one-to-many relationship from both sides, right?
Hmm.
So how will I implement this now? This table also has ID. Record 1, record 2. This table will have a opportunity ID, will have a product ID, and will have a quantity and other fields, right? So here I will say opportunity 1, product 1, opportunity 1, product 2, opportunity 2, product 1, opportunity 3, product 2. Right? Two lookup fields then. A mapping object is an object which has minimum two lookup fields. Same goes with price book entry, right? What will price book entry have? ID, product ID, and price book ID.
Hmm.
Product 1, price book 1, product 2, price book 1, product 1, price book 2, product 2, price book 2. Right? Simple. And here I will have the price. I'm getting the point. Are you understanding what is the table? Very easy,
Yes.
right?
Mhm. Got it.
So all are these lookup tables, lookup fields. This is just pointing to that record. We'll see that. So one of the field types, which is making sure that this one-to relationship or many-to-many relationships are making sure that fields are called relationship fields. What are those possible? One is the lookup field. Relationship fields can be lookup fields or a master detail field. There are some other forms also. I will not discuss that right now. So lookup and master detail. Okay, we'll get into the details of what is the difference between lookup and master detail later. But let's understand what are lookups and master detail. Lookup and master detail stores a valid record ID, that is 13 character or 18 character Salesforce generated ID in these fields. Very interesting. When you are opening that in the screen, the lookup or master detail will not show up. It will not show that 18 character or 13 character, because that is unusable. It is not possible to look at that and understand which account is it, right? If I open a contact in screen and I get a 18 character deed, how will I know that which account it belongs to? So Salesforce, in order to make it easy to understand, Salesforce replaces this 18 character or 13 character by the primary record name. So in contact screen, in account, you will see the account name rather than ID. And this will be a hyperlink. You can click. If you click, it will take you to the account. So if there is a hyperlink, high chances that that is a lookup field. Yeah, that's how we will see. We'll see this in details right now. When in actual Salesforce, you will then understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, so you understand what are the field types. So fields and relationship is very important. So let's see those fields in account first, and then we'll see this, how it looks like. Let's jump into Salesforce. Everybody got a Trailhead account done?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Trailhead is a free org for you. You can launch your Salesforce instance from Trailhead. So we are in Salesforce. So can I see that ID which I was talking about? Let's see. I change this to all accounts. Select field to display. So I cannot see this. I will show you the way to show that, a workaround to see that. Anyway, so what we will see is that, let's go to any contact. You see, this is the account. If you open this is a hyperlink, right? So this is what I was talking about. This is a lookup field, because when we edit it, lookup fields are searchable. So this is basically a searchable field. You can type anything, you can search for it. That is what a lookup field is. So this is a relationship field. How will I see this? Let's go to the setup. Setup is the office of an administrator. This is your job to understand the setup. Usually normal users, Salesforce users will not get setup. This is not available to you. So just like in mobile phone, you have a setting. In Salesforce, you have the setup. Administrators are the people who will work in setup. Your job would be to work in setup. So here there is an object manager. So you can see a account, and you can go and check all the fields here. You see every field of Salesforce or account object or account table is already available. You can create your new table also. Similarly, if you go to contact, you can see all the contact tables. Here, if you see account name is the field name, field label. This means what will show up in the UI, in the screen. What will be the name of that field in the screen, and what is the actual it is storing. So it is storing account ID, and you see it's called lookup of account. That is what it is storing. So if you give an account name here, it will not accept it. How do I see that? Let's see. All contacts. Let's see here. I can show you. Yeah, you see account ID here. This is the account ID. You can see. So this is the name of the contact, and this is the account ID. Exactly in the database, this is getting stored. Where from I am getting this value? So if you open this account, any account, you see this is the ID of that account. I can see this here also. There is a way of showing it. If I go to a thing called workbench.developerforce.com, this will show you the actual database. We will work on this in more, so please note it down. Developer, and you have to do a login with Salesforce. If Salesforce is already open in the second tab, they will not ask you for the login. So what will I do? I will do a SOQL query. Here I will select account. We'll discuss this in little detail. Here all the fields of that account is showing up. Yeah. So you see there is the ID field. I will take only 2 field names. You can use the control and use this. These are 2 things which comes up, and do a query. When you do that, all the accounts of the application is now showing up. 45. Right? Same. I have 45 accounts here. I can see 45 accounts here. Right? There are other fields. I can export that. No need to export that. So you see, this is the primary key. This is a unique identifier. How many characters is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 characters. Case insensitive means uppercase and small case are treated as same. That means capital A and small a is the same character. But if it is a 13 digit, then it becomes a capital A and small a will be treated as a different character. Okay, that is the only difference. So 18 character version is mostly used. So this 18 character version, this is the primary key of this column. If we, now let's see what happens in contact. So let's see one account, like let's go and select one contact which has accounts. So Geo, right? Geo account. So let's see in Geo account, this is the ID, right? And I will do a filter. I will do ID equal to, I will paste this query again. Yeah, so it is showing me Geo. This is the name ID of Geo, right? So note this down. Now let's see. Let's go to the contact. Easy. So here you see, I will also select the ID field from contact. If contact also has ID field, I will also select the first name, the last name, and I will also select the account ID. Do a query. You see, oh, the table has 48 rows. Let's go to contact. All contacts. You see, there are 48. All contacts is showing up. Same. So what happens is that if I now filter this with account ID, account ID is equal to the same ID which I selected last time. Now see, Mukesh and Anil, these two, right? You see, the same account ID is there twice, but the ID, contact ID is different, right? If you go to that, if you go to contacts and you go to Geo, you see, Mukesh and Anil are only there. So the contact table is basically only pointing to the same account ID. That's it. But this account ID is not showing up in this context, right? If you go to this contact, it will show Geo. It will not show this 18 character. So in screen, that 18 character changes to the name of which field? The primary table's name. So what is a primary table? Primary table is account, right? So that account name will now show up and it will become a hyperlink. So you can click it and you can jump into that. So that is a Salesforce way of, because 18 characters is unusable, right? It makes no sense. The user will see 18 characters and will feel frustrated. Which account is this? I do not know, right? So Salesforce has made it easy for you to understand in screen that this 18 character is basically the account, this account, and they are replacing that 18 character with the name. Any questions so far?
No.
Good. Now, in Object Manager, all this, you see all these objects which we discussed last day are standard objects. Account, contact, opportunity, you see, all standard objects. There are some custom object also you can create. If you create any custom object or custom table or new table, it will have always __c. in the API name. That is how it needs to be. So let's create one. Employee registrations. Yeah, this is the new object I'm creating. Yeah. So this is the new table. If I create a new table, I go to this and go to registration. So now see, it has become an underscore automatic, and it is showing as custom. So this is the new table I create. So even if there is a new table, so this is a custom table, and I will go back. And let's go to jump to this, and let's go to the field and relationships. You see, there are 4 fields here, which is called the name field. Every object will have a name field, owner field, last modified by, created by. All these 3 are lookup fields, and these are read-only fields. You cannot change anything. This Salesforce manages these fields. Only registration name is something which you can fill up. That you can also change it to auto number. If you go and edit it, instead of giving it a data type at text, you can do an auto number. In that case, you don't have to fill up anything. Salesforce will automatically generate a formatted number. You can have a display format like R, and you can have 4 character registration number, and you can start from 1. In that case, the name field also does not need to be filled up. Okay, but how will you fill up data in this table? For filling up data, you need a tab like this, right? Just like account on data. Do we have a registration tab? Nothing like that, right? So in order to fill data in any new table we create or new object we create, we have to create a tab. So you have to go to the home, create a tab, go to tabs. Here you create a custom object tab because we just created a tab. And what object we selected? This is the new registration object. I have to give a tab style. This is the color scheme. And I do next. We'll explain this later. Just do a next. This is the which application you want to add this to. We talked about this, right? There are several apps. This is the app launcher. So in which app do you want to add this tab? I will add this on the sales tab, sales application. Here is the sales application. Save. If I do this, I refresh this sales app. Now let us go, you see. Registration has come. Now, if you do a new, you see nothing to fill up because registration name I have auto generated. So if I save now, automatically registration number is getting created. Starts from R0002. If I go and create another one, R0002, yeah, it will keep on upgrading itself. So now the registrations has come up. The 2 records has got created. Okay. Here, let's now create. Now I can create a lookup so that I can relate. So you see here, I have to just log out and log in once again. Workbench.developerforce.com, because this is a new table I created, so it will not have that value. You see, now I will get a registration __ C. Here, if I go and create an ID and name field, this table is also getting created. It has an ID field and it has the name R001, R00. Any questions so far? I will go back
No,
to
sir.
object manager.
No.
I will go to registration once again. I will go to fields and relationship. Here, these are the 4 fields which is by default there, right? So all these fields, name, owner ID, last name, full name, these are called standard fields. So what happens is that I will go and share once again. So standard object and custom object. Standard object will have standard fields and custom object will also have standard fields. How many? We saw 4 on the screen, right? Owner, then modified by, last modified by, created by, and name field. There are some more, just ID field is also there, right? And in standard object, you can create custom fields or new key fields. In custom object also, of course, you will create custom fields, right? These custom fields will be created with __C, __C. This object also will be created with __C. Any questions so far?
No.
Good. Pretty interesting, right? So now let's see what is the difference between this lookup and master detail. We were talking about these 2 things, right? Lookup, master detail field. We'll see the master detail field very shortly. So lookup fields you can create on any object, standard object, custom object. Master detail you can only create on custom object. You cannot create master detail on lookup on standard objects. Okay. Lookup is by default not mandatory. Master detail is mandatory. Yes. Then if you create a lookup field, no impact on owner field. Owner field has no impact. But if you create a master detail field in any custom object, then the owner field is deleted. Clear? Lastly, both is storing ID, right? 18 character or 13 character versions. Both are storing basically IDs, no difference. But, and both are relationship fields, right? No difference. But there is a unique relation. In lookup, if the parent is deleted, in child, that field becomes blank. That field value becomes blank. If the parent record is deleted, then in child, like if the account is sorry, not the account and contact has a different relationship, but like if the account is if the value of the parent record is deleted, parent means 1 into many relationship, 1:many relationship. The one side is called the parent, the inside is called child, right? We discussed this longer. So account and contact, parent, child, then account and opportunity, parent, child, right? Account is a parent for both account and contact and opportunity. Similarly, In parent-child relationship, if the parent record is deleted, in child side there is nothing happens, only that field becomes blank. But in MD, if the parent is deleted, child is also deleted automatically. Clear? Let's see this happening. So now if I go and create a new field, can I create a new field on this object? New master detail field?
Because this is a custom object.
This is a custom object, right? Registration is a custom object, isn't it? Can I create a parent like contact? Let's go to the contact. It's a standard field, right? Can I create a master detail field here? If I go to new, am I seeing any master detail field here? I can create a new lookup relationship, but there is no master detail. Now let's go to registration object. It's created. Now you see on registration object, I will have a master detail relationship. Yeah, I can create this a master detail relationship. This is a higher version of lookup relationship, right? We discussed it. Lot more features are there. So when I create a master data relationship, which relationship I want to do with account. Next. Can I create a master data relationship? You will see there is an error coming here. So you do a next. I will add this into the layout. Save. Yeah, you will get an error. Why you are getting this error? Read this error thoroughly and let me know. What do you understand? So it is a custom object. There should not be any error. Why is this coming? Anybody wants to give a try? There is no shame or no penalty if you give a wrong reply. But if you reply, I understand that you have not gone asleep.
Do we first need to create a lookup relationship with the object we want to create the master detail relationship, and then fill in all the records and then change the relationship type to master detail?
Why is it asking this to be done? What is the point? Why should I take this pain?
Because registration is a custom object.
No. Any ideas? Think about an Excel sheet, right? This is the Excel sheet. This is the registration object, right? What fields were there? ID field is there, name is there, owner is there, modified by is there, created by is there. These are the fields. Right? I am trying to create an account rate, account master account rate. There are already two records here, right? Record 1 and record 2. This is called, this was named like this one. And this has some Oniverji, and you're like everything is Oniverji at this point. Something of this, right? I'm trying to create a new field like this, right? Account ID. It is throwing me error. Why?
Okay, because the record it's empty and those are already written.
Record is empty. Which record is empty?
The account ID, there is no ID as of now. So
Absolutely. Master detail, what was the main part? Master detail has to be mandatory, right? So if I create now a field and I allow this to happen, then this two field becomes blank, right? So that is a violation of the type of the field. So either I have to fill this with some 18 characters value, and then that will be allowed when if I make this a lookup relationship. And then basically convert this to a master detail relationship. That will work. Otherwise, what I can do, I can just delete these two rows. Let's try this. Can I do this by deleting this? I will just delete this. I'll go to lookup relationship once again. Please notice the owner field is there, which will be gone if I create the master detail relationship. Is the master detail. I will select, sorry, account. Adding this to the layout. What's the layout? We'll discuss this later. You see, owner is gone. We have now a custom field called account underscore underscore, which is looking as master detail, not lookup. So what happens if I go? It has now allowed me to do that because there is no violation. If I do now a record, you see, now I have to, this account becomes a mandatory field because master detail is mandatory. Create it now. If I jump now to Geo, I also see the registrations down there. Yeah, this registration is created. Clear, guys, so far?
Clear.
Now
Yeah.
let us create a lookup relationship now. Lookup relationship is same, only that it has nothing to worry about by default. Let's create a lookup relationship with contact. The lookup relationship is not mandatory by default, but you can make it mandatory. If you do this, then there is a possibility that you don't allow the local relationship to be a part of local relationship. So then what happens? If you make it required, then what happens is that you will not be able to delete the parent account. But if it is not required, then you can select by default, clear the values of this field. You can choose this option, you make the field required. So if you make the field required, then you cannot delete the parent record without deleting the child record first. But if it's not required, then of course it automatically clears the value. Another point of similar point is needed in master detail also. So lookup is quite similar. If I see this now in UI, there's no difference, you see. If I go and create a new registration now, you see now it's just the same. This search button. So here I click Zio and here I select Mukesh. You see there is no red star here. This is the only difference. But this is also related. It's a relationship if you go to that. contact, you can see registration information down below. Quite similar. If you go to the table, how does it look like? I have to relog in because if you create new things, you have to fire the workbench again. So now it has become a mapping table, isn't it? If you see this, there is a contact lookup relationship and an account. So there are two relationships. When there are two relationships in a same object, so this become a child of both account and contact. That means it's a mapping table now. If both are master detail, both parents are master detail lookup, in that case, it will be called a junction object instead of a mapping object. So what is the difference between junction object and a mapping object? Mapping object has minimum 2 relationship fields. Junction object has minimum 2 master detail fields. Relationship fields can be master detail, can be lookup also. So 1 master detail, 1 lookup, mapping field, 2 lookup, mapping field, 2 master detail, junction object. Clear? So if I go to registration here now, what fields you will see? Here you see account and contact. And what is it storing? And this is the normal ID field of this. You do a query. You see, it is storing basically ID. The first one I did not have the lookup. That's why it is blank. And second time I selected something. So it is storing basically the ID of that primary key of that table. And ID is also auto-generating for this table. And name field is also auto-generating. So I am not entering anything. I am typing nothing. Let's create some other fields. What is the auto number? Just like name field, you can create your own auto numbers. Same. Name field can be auto numbers. Name field can be text. But you can create your more auto numbers if you want. Yeah. What is formula? We'll come to this. These are relationship field. Already lookup and master detail. We already discussed. What is checkbox? Checkbox means if it is a tick or untick, if that is kind of a field you want. Yeah, so that means Boolean, true or false. Let's select this. How does it look like? Maybe active, something like that. By default, checked or unchecked, right? What else? What other fields are there? Email. Date field is just only the date part. Date time is date as well as time part. There is a separate time field also, which does not have the date part. You can have email field, which will only store emails. You can have geolocation. Geolocation is used for mapping. So this field basically will store the latitude and longitude so that you can show that in a map. Number field. Number field means it will store numeric characters and it includes a decimal value. Percentage is percentage value. Phone is phone number value. Pick list. Let's create a pick list. Pick list is basically something which is a drop down. My options. You can store the pick list value or like bring it from global pick list values, or you can create your local pick list also. Every field you can have. You can promote these values as a global pick list value so that you can reuse in another pick list. Maybe this is called internet. And I will have Vodafone, Airtel, it has the and Geo. You can make it restricted That means you cannot enter any other values except these 3 values. But if it's not restricted, then you can type anything. It becomes a drop down come text field. So pick list. What if I want to choose more than one values? Then I will use multi-select pick list. My options. Same thing. Here I will say maybe TV, fridge, TV, fridge, what phones. My options is already there. API name needs to be changed. Save. This internet should have been renamed. Yeah. So this is. So there are many kind of field. Then there is a text which will be just you can type anything there. The text area. What is the difference between text and text area? In text area you can break the line. In text you cannot break the line. So you can use enter here. Text area long is just a very high character thing. This you cannot use in reports. Text area rich, here you can format bold, italics, you can do this. You can put even images also. You can paste images. Encrypted means masked. Star, 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 this will show up. URL means URL of this. So why so many options? Why not use only text? What is the benefit of having so many field types? Anybody?
Yeah, we can like store different types of data.
You can store everything in text field. You can store phone, you can store currency, you can store anything in text field, right? Text field is alphanumeric. You can store anything. You see it in text allows users to enter any combination letters and numbers. So you can do anything in text. So only one text field should have been enough, right? What is the point of having so many fields? What is
Yeah, it's a better presentation, because like it will be very inconvenient if a user is like if somebody is feeding in the text field a currency or something, or like for example the checkbox, it looks good. Like if I'm getting to choose from a checklist rather than
checkboxes? I
typing.
understand checkbox is easier to use, but
Also.
apart from that, everything is it will look like text box. I will show you that. So what there is no difference between a text field and a what is that? This is called maybe currency field. I will show you. No difference. And you see there is a number field, and again there is a currency field. So what is the benefit of having these two? I can use number field as a currency field. It has a decimal values. You can put, it has to be 18. So if you would make it 16, then you can do 2 characters here. Let's see this now. You see, everything is same, right? What is the difference? If I edit this is checkbox. Then in internet, I can have Vodafone, Airtel, Jio. I can select anything. In TV and fridge, I can select 2 options. In description, I can type the values. In account also, I can type the values. What is the difference? In account, I cannot type ABCD. If you do ABCD, it will not type anything. I am typing, nothing is happening. But if I fill up some values, it will what? Numbers. So these kind of fields, the benefit of these field types is that Salesforce automatically makes sure that you are not putting garbage. So if it is using an email field, it will make sure that it is a email which is a valid email format. @something.com is there. In URL, it will be www.something.something.space HTTPS, something like that. If it is a number, it will make sure it is only numeric, no alphanumeric or alphabetic. You can paste it there. The difference between currency and number is that number will have something decimal something, but in currency you will have something decimal currency plus the currency type. Is it a dollar? Is it a INR? Is it a like something else, Pakistani currency, something? So had you used only number, there was no way to determine what kind of currency is this, right? Then you have to have another supporting pick list to choose the currency type. But in currency, you can have both. It will also make sure that it is showing up as dollar here. You see, here by default, the default currency is dollar, so it is showing us dollar. Are you getting the point?
Yes, yes.
Here in this same field, there is a page layout, which is this screen. You can organize these new fields in the way you want. So if you go to registration layout, you can drag it. By default, Salesforce is a 2-screen layout. So you can drag and drop these in the 2-column layout and save. It will take a while for this to reflect here because it's a caching involved, but it will immediately reflect on the registration page, new page. So if you go to new, you see it is now spread across 2. And if you open this again, still it is not showing up. It will take some time, but it will show up. So this same page, so Geo, Mukesh, TV and fridge, I select both. I say Vodafone, description something, numeric. Yeah, this is also will reorganize. After some time, it will show up. Yeah, it says formatted, so page layout takes some time. Yeah, now it is showing up. Yeah, it is now 2-column layout. You organize that in page layout. Okay, in page layout also, you can make some fields mandatory. Please make sure that why to use which one, we'll discuss this later. So in description, there is a range button and you can make it required. You can make it read only also. If you make it read only, then you will not be able to type anything. So if I make it read only and you go to the edit mode, it will take some time. It's still not sure. Hold on. Yeah, description. It will take a while. Anyway, you will see this, you will not be able to edit this after some time. Just when the caching is taken care of. Anyway, it will come. You can make this, you make this mandatory also. Red star will appear. Then you cannot close this field. So you can make this field mandatory at page layout level, and you can make this field mandatory at the object level also. If you go to registration, here you can make the amount field mandatory here also. You can make it required. What is the difference between making it mandatory in the field level and making it mandatory in the page level? Anybody wants to give a try? How will the behavior be different? Nobody? So the problem with making a field mandatory in the field level is that it will become mandatory everywhere. If you have multiple layouts, it will become mandatory for all layouts and you cannot change it. You cannot make it non-mandatory in layout. It will also become mandatory if you want to upload that value or create that value using Workbench. So here in Workbench, we'll see this in the next class, how to load data in bulk. So it will become mandatory for Workbench also. But if you make it mandatory on layout, then it only is mandatory on that screen. Only that for layout, that's it. It will not be mandatory for other layouts. It will not be mandatory for Workbench. Why do we? Why can I create multiple layouts? Any idea? Why should I create multiple layouts? I can create another layout here.
For different set of users,
Yes,
maybe.
absolutely. So if I create a marketing registration for marketing team, and I can select which fields to keep and which fields not to keep, right? So here I can choose which fields to keep and which not to keep. So I will go to the fields. Maybe I will only keep active and registration name and enter. Nothing else is needed. How do I make sure that marketing team only sees this layout? Other people will see this layout. This is the page layout assignment. What are the user types? How can I determine different user types? The user types are determined using profiles. Okay, and this is all the profiles I have, and it is all registration layouts. But I can create and edit assignment. I can say that my marketing people, this marketing user, will have a different layout, marketing layout. So for them, this application, when they log in, it will show up only these four fields. It will not show up the other fields. Because they only are worried about only 4 fields. They don't understand the other field values. Got it? So when you create a new user in this organization, if you create a new user, you have to select which profile you want them to. So you have this Salesforce license. By default, this org has that license. I think we have already created 2 users. Standard user is there. So by default, if you have a user license Salesforce, in Salesforce, you can select the other profile. So if you see marketing user, then this user will only log in and will see that screen. It will not be able to see your screen, normal screen. I have created a separate layout for them. So same table, but what are you expecting or getting or showing to end users is controlled by the layout. So object manager in registration, we saw many things, right? We saw how to create a new table. We saw how to create new fields. Why there are so many wide variety of fields? Because we want to control what garbage data is not entered anywhere. We saw how the screen, how these fields will look like in the screen using layout, how to organize them, right? So the three things which we covered already. Any questions so far?
Mm,
Okay. Last two things which I will cover right now, and then we will be done. So there are one field which we did not talk about. There are two fields. We'll talk about those two fields. You're feeling sleepy or too much overwhelmed, let me know. Then we'll stop for the day and we'll take it from there. The next class. Too much information? Or it's fine to go ahead. Let me know.
it's fine for me.
Fine. What about the other?
Yeah, for me too.
So there are two kinds of fields still. There is a roll up and formula.
Guys, can
Both
you
are-
see Animesh screen? I don't
Oh,
know.
Yes, the
sorry.
screen is not
No, sir.
visible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
the sharing stopped, I think.
Okay. So there are two kinds of fields. One is called roll up and one is called formula field. Okay. Both are calculation fields. That means it does some calculation on the fly when it is showing in the UI. In the page layout, you can do some calculation. These fields are non-editable. You cannot change the values. It is calculates. It's a read only. It only shows some values. Roll up can happen. This field you can create only in parent side. If you have a master detailed child, then only you can create a parent, roll up in the parent side. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay. There are special objects on which you can, but we will not discuss that. By default, if you have a master detail relationship, on the parent side, you create a roll up. What can you roll up on? There are four formulas you can do. You can do a count of the child records. You can do a summation of any numeric field of the child records. You can do a minimum of the child records. You can do a max. Count sum, min, max, right? In formula, you can create both, and at the parents, you can create a formula at both sides, parent side as well as child side. But in the child side only, you can use the parent side fields. In parent side, you cannot use child side fields. You can use multiple field inside a formula to calculate something automatically. Let's see these examples. Okay. So I created a master detail and this is the account, right? So I can create now a roll up summary on account object. So I will go to the account object. And I will create a roll up summary. You see this one. Account has some special childs on which you can do roll up. But I will do a total amount or total. You see, it allows me to do a counting of the number of childs I have, or you can do a sum or min max on which there are some standard fields on which you can do a roll up or any master detail. I have the only one master detail child. So I will do a sum on what? The amount field of my child. I can do a filtering also. I can choose all records or I can just leave out some records also of child. This field is creating in the account. So I have put some amount right here in what? Geo. Geo has 2 registrations account, right? Let's see the registration. So if I go, how many? There are, I think, let's see the amount fields. It's blank. 4,500. Let's make it easier to understand. So let's make it 100. Count number cannot be blank. It's getting saved. Okay, sorry. I have put some validations here. Anyway. Ignore these two. These are like based on some test in my last session. Anyway, so what happened? I go to the related list and I have created 1, 2, 3, 4. So first let's create some $50. Second one, $100. Third one, $200. Fourth one, $150. How much? What is the total? 150 plus 50 plus 200 plus 100, right?
500.
500, right? So when I go to Geo and go to details, I see a total of $500. What would have happened if I have selected min instead of sum?
The minimum of the amount, that is the $50.
$50. What if I have selected max?
200.
200. Perfect.
And count, it will be showing 4.
Count would be showing 4. Yep. So roll up summary is so easy. If I change any of this count or I add a new child, I go and adding a new child. Now I have 5 more 500. What will happen here? $1,000 automatically updating. Can you edit this? You cannot edit. This field is calculated upon save. It's a read-only field. Clear, guys? Roll-up summary can be done on the parent. If you have a master detail field, is so important then. On lookup, you cannot create a roll-up summary on the parent. Right? But you can create a formula. It's a roll-up summary I cannot create because I don't have a child, but I can create a formula. What kind of formula will this be? Maybe difference. What is the calculation type? I'm working with the amount field. So let's select currency. Now I can do some advanced formula or simple formula. Does not matter. You see, if I go and create an advanced formula, I can insert a field from my parent. I want to see the difference from total amount which is showing up in the roll-up summary minus the actual summary on that record, minus the amount on the record. So I want to see that difference. So I will go to account and this arrow sign is there. So I will see the account fields now. So here I have the total, right? This is the lookup summary which I have created. Let's insert this. Then the difference is minus. Which field I will use? On the registration object, I have the amount field. I will just put it. So it will show up total minus whatever the amount field is. Let's see what happens. Again, this is a read-only field. You cannot change it. So now let's go and check this out. So what will happen now? If I now go to these geo IDs, view all. Let's see what is showing up here. 1000 was the total value, right? See, 550 is there amount. So 1000 minus 50, 950. Next one, 100. 1000 minus 100, 900. 200. 1000 minus 200, 800. 1000 minus 150, 850. 1000 minus 500. Both are getting auto calculated. Difference is auto calculated, so you cannot change these values. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Play with it. Too much fun. Have fun. I hope you enjoy the session. I'll upload this very shortly on YouTube. Keep chasing.
Yes.
Any questions so far? Otherwise, stop the session and you can go ahead.
No questions as of now.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, what is the use of this difference field?
Use. If you want to automatically calculate something on the UI and see for each record, you can use the formula.
Okay, okay.
You can here I am calculating based on the parent field and child field, but you can do this on two fields here also. Like you have amount 1 and amount 2, and you have total amount field another. So you want to add these two values and you want to show that in total amount. You can automatically calculate using formula.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
nice
sir.
day.